Hey, before you sign on the dotted line of your rental contract in Dubai, it is important to familiarize yourself with the Rera tenancy contract rules. Rera, which is Real Estate Regulatory Agency, regulates tenant rights in Dubai, obligations of landlords, and the overall relationship between the two parties. Let's dig in deep to find out about the Dubai tenancy law, terms of the tenancy contract, rent increase, and everything you need to know about the Dubai tenancy law. About Rera's tenancy laws. As a regulatory branch of the Dubai Land Department, the Rera was established in Dubai. In accordance with Dubai's tenancy rules, the Rera department is in charge of regulating the relationship between a landlord and a renter. When it comes to the Rera tenancy law in Dubai, there are four main laws to keep in mind. Law number 126 of 2007. This law regulates the relationship between landlords and tenants in Dubai. Law number 33 of 2008. This law amended certain articles of law number 26 of 2007 and also governs the landlord-tenant relationship in Dubai. Decree number 26 of 2013. This law established the Rent Dispute Settlement Center (RDSC), which handles all types of rental disputes in Dubai. Decree number 43 of 2013. This law specifically governs rent increase in Dubai. Let's take a closer look at the tenancy law in Dubai. Essentially, this video will cover all you need to know about the Rera tenancy contract rules as outlined by law number 26 of 2007. Terms of the Rera tenancy law in Dubai. Within the law regulating relationship between landlords and tenants in the Emirate of Dubai, number 26 of 2007, the Rera has specific contractual parameters that ensure the smooth functioning of the rental property in Dubai. According to Article number 4 of Law 33 of 2008, it is obligatory for the tenant or landlord to register the tenancy contract with the Rera through Ijari. This ensures that the unit is not leased twice at the same time. Article 6 of Rera's Tenancy Law 26 of 2007 states that if the tenancy contract in Dubai expires and the tenant continues to live in the property without objection from the landlord, the term of tenancy will be extended automatically for the same period of 1 year on same terms and conditions. According to Article 28 of the Property Rent Law in Dubai, a transfer of property ownership to a new owner will not impact the tenant's right to occupy the property. Amending the terms of the contract. According to Article number 14 of the Dubai Tenancy Law, if the landlord or tenant wishes to amend the term of the contract, they must notify the other party at least 90 days before the contract's expiry date. Thus, if the landlord or tenant wishes to make any changes to the rent amount and contract tenor or exclude any clauses, they must convey so 3 months before the tenancy contract's expiry. Terminating tenancy contract in Dubai. Article 7 of the Rera tenancy law in Dubai says that valid rental agreements cannot be unilaterally terminated during its term by either tenant or landlord unless it is agreed upon by both parties. According to Article 27, the tenancy agreement does not expire even the tenant or landlord dies. In such cases, the tenancy relationship is transferred to the parties' heirs, and unless they decide to terminate it, the contract stays valid. The heirs, if they choose to, must give 30 days or days remaining to the expiry of the contract, whichever comes first as notice. Couple looking worried, looking for tenancy contract break clause in Dubai. You must abide by the exit clause in your Dubai tenancy contract when seeking early termination. There is no Rera property rent law that specifically governs the early termination of tenancy contracts in Dubai. If a tenant wants to break the rental contract in Dubai, they need to adhere to the exit or early termination clause in their contract. If such a clause does not exist, the landlord could demand compensation for ending the tenancy contract early. Vacating notice to the landlord. As per Law number 33 of 2008, the tenant is not required to provide any notice prior to vacating the property upon the expiry of the contract. Law number 33 of 2008 removed the previously mandatory requirement of providing a 90-day vacating notice to landlords in Dubai. However, the priority is given to the terms of your tenancy contract, which may require a specific notice period in the case of non-renewal of the contract. In case you do not adhere to this clause in your contract, the landlord can demand compensation as a penalty for failing to provide the required notice. When vacating the property, the landlord is also required to refund the security deposit to the tenant either in full or the amount remaining after making deductions. Tenancy law in Dubai regarding evictions. Article 25 of Law number 26 of 2007, which was amended by Law number 33 of 2008, states that there are certain cases where the landlord can demand the eviction of the tenant before the expiry of the contract. The tenant fails to pay the rent within 30 days of being served with the landlord's written notification. The tenant subleases the property without the landlord's written approval. Tenant uses or allows others to use the property for immoral or illegal activities. Tenant causes or allows others to cause damage or changes to the property that endangers the safety of the property. The tenant uses the property for purposes other than what it was leased for. The tenant fails to comply with any of the terms of the tenancy contract or the law within 30 days of being served a written notification from the landlord. For commercial properties, a landlord can demand eviction if the tenant has closed operation for 30 consecutive or 90 non-consecutive days without giving any valid reasons. If the demolition of the property is required by the government entity for the urban development of the emirate, eviction notice for tenant as per Rera tenancy law in Dubai. Bear in mind that landlords can seek early termination of tenancy contract in Dubai. If you fail to pay the rent as per the property law for tenants, according to the Rera tenancy contract rules, the landlord can also seek eviction upon expiry of the tenancy contract if the landlord wishes to reconstruct or demolish the property requires significant maintenance or renovation that cannot be done while the tenant is occupying it. The landlord wants to use the property for his personal use or even for his relatives of the first degree. For such cases, the landlord must provide the other party with 12 months of written notice through a registered mail or public notary. Rent increase in Dubai. Article 9 of Law number 26 of 2007 requires landlords and tenants to specify a mutually acceptable rent value within their tenancy contract. This rent amount cannot be increased before the end of a 2-year tenure from the date the original contract. As with all other amendments to the tenancy contract in Dubai, the landlord must inform tenants of any intended increase in rent at least 90 days before the expiry of the contract. The tenant can accept or refuse the increase with at least a 60-day notice prior to the renewal date in the event of a refusal. If both parties cannot reach an agreement or the tenant wishes to contest an unfair rent increase, they can file a rental dispute in Dubai at the Rent Dispute Settlement Center. All increases in rent for properties in Dubai must be in accordance with Decree number 43 of 2013. The rise is limited to a maximum of 20% from 21st December of 2013 to the present. According to this rental law in Dubai, there are different caps on the maximum increase in rent depending on the current rent of the property. For instance, the Dubai tenancy law states that no rent increase is allowed if the current rent of the property is up to 10% less than the average rent of similar units, while a 5% increase is allowed if the current rent is between 11% to 20% less than the average rent. Article 10 of Law 26 of 2007 grants the sole authority of specifying the rent increase percentage in Dubai to the Real Estate Regulatory Agency. Landlords and tenants can use Rera's rental calculator available on the DLD official website to find out the percentage of rent increase they are eligible for. Responsibilities of tenants and landlords. General obligations and tenants' rights in Dubai. Here are some Rera tenancy contract rules for tenants in Dubai to keep in mind when renting a property in the Emirate. Article 19. The tenant must pay the agreed rent on the due date. The tenant cannot carry out any maintenance, restoration, or make any changes to the property unless the landlord permits it. Article 21. At the end of the lease agreement, it's also incumbent upon the tenant to surrender the property in the same condition, with the exception of ordinary wear and tear. Article 22. Unless the landlord and the tenant have agreed otherwise, the latter is responsible for the payment of necessary taxes and fees that are due to the relevant government departments. Article 23. At the same time of vacating the property, the tenant must not remove any improvements made, unless otherwise agreed upon between the parties. Infographic showing the basic tenant rights in Dubai and rules for tenants. Do you know your rights as a tenant in Dubai? General obligations of landlords in Dubai. According to the Rera property rent law, the landlords in Dubai have the following obligations. Article 15. The landlord must ensure the property handed over is in good condition and allows full use to the tenant as per the contract. Article 16. Unless agreed otherwise, for the entire term of the tenancy contract, the landlord is responsible for maintenance, repair, and restoration of any faults, defects, wear and tear caused to the property. Article 17. The landlord should not make any changes to the leased property that would directly or indirectly hinder its full intended use by the tenant. Article 18. The landlord must provide the tenant with official permits and/or license required to carry out any construction or redecoration of the property where relevant. Clean an empty house given to the tenant as per Rera tenant law in Dubai. The rent law in Dubai states that tenants must receive the property in good conditions. Well, we hope this quick video to Dubai tenancy law will clarify the terms of your contract and help you understand your rights and responsibilities. Are you interested in renting a property in Dubai? But before you go out soaring for rental properties, there are certain things to consider when renting in Dubai that can help you make better informed decisions. Whether you are buying, selling, or renting a property in Dubai, familiarize yourself with all the Rera forms and the purpose they serve. If you're planning to move to the UAE's capital city, we recommend familiarizing yourself with tenancy laws in Abu Dhabi. Each emirate is governed by different rental laws, thus there will be different procedures and obligations to keep in mind. Stay tuned to the top things for more videos on Dubai tenancy law. And also do let me know in the comment section below that what kind of topic you want me to cover in the next video, and I will try my best to cover that topic in my upcoming video. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.